Bluff City Media presents Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta. Join Francis after every Memphis Tiger game as he breaks down each matchup, player of the game, and upcoming games. Now, let's get to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tigers Live. I'm your host, Francis Carlotta, joined by the man himself, Kenny Stubblefield, coming at y'all after the Memphis Tigers suffer a loss on the road at Ole Miss, 77-83. Man, tough.
Hey,
Look,
the undefeated season is over, Francis.
It's over. The undefeated season, ladies and gentlemen, has ended. It's over. You know, I hate to do it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's over. But Kenny, look, man, there's a lot to discuss from this game. I think there's a lot of ways you can look at a 6-point loss on the road against a pretty solid Ole Miss team. And we're gonna look at this game from every single angle. Roman Clear is gonna join us in a bit from Ole Miss, so that I'm excited to hear his thoughts on this game as well. Everybody in the comment section. What's up, everybody? Yeah, Francis, his uncle. Yeah, Francis, I jinxed it. That's my fault. And then Kenny made that the ad for Tigers Live. So that's it. You know, that's just Tigers Live.
Let me just say this: Uncle Buck can go kick rocks because he was just in the studio about 2 minutes ago with a damn Ole Miss jersey on. So I don't want to hear his trash. That guy, piece of crap. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, man. Well, lots of ways we can look at it. Definitely get into the comments, everybody. Let us know what y'all thought about the game. We'll definitely talk with y'all. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But we see Roman's in the studio, so
let's get him in. Here we go, live from Oxford, Mississippi, the home of the self-aware student section. That apparently,
I don't know if you guys can see me, but I can hear you. It's embarrassing.
Can you hear us?
It's embarrassing how horrible the Wi-Fi is here at Ole Miss.
I thought they had an SEC internet over in Ole Miss. What's up?
Oh, hey, no, this is not SEC internet. I can guarantee you that. Nope.
Oh, man.
No, it's honestly embarrassing.
Well, Roman,
we're trying to do our jobs here. We're trying to be a reporter, trying to cover this damn game. But, you know.
Wow, Roman came in hot. I like it. I like the heat. I like the heat for the Ole Miss. It is in Oxford, so it's not like they just got electricity like 3 years ago. So it kind of makes sense that the internet's not great. It's all still the AOL dial-up modem, which Roman is way too young, and I think Francis, you might be way too young to remember the dial-up modem internet.
Yeah, it's essentially my Wi-Fi from like the first few episodes of Tigers Live when I was at my old place, where I kept getting cut off and disconnected from the show. Roman, if you can hear us, man, you're frozen again. Give me your thoughts on the game, on this performance from the Tigers.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a very good one, especially defensively. I thought you saw some good things from Memphis down the stretch in the second half. You like what you saw from guys like Ashton Hardaway and Curtis Givens. But ultimately, I know the three-point shooting is kind of the big eye-opener here, but to me, this game also comes down to the fact that Aaron Bradshaw just didn't show up, right? I think we can call that pretty plainly. I mean, there's a reason why he had to be subbed out for the first 6 minutes of the second half in favor of Simon Najah. Trust me, Memphis did not want to do that. They did that because they felt as if they had to do that. And then when you couple that with Asad Abdul-Hakim still being out, Tariq Ingram still being out, it's when you just can't get enough production from the front court, you know, Scylla fouling out, it's just gonna be tough for Memphis to win these games, especially against power conference opponents.
Well, I joined the game a little bit about 3 minutes late because of the I couldn't find it on ESPN Plus, but I came in and I saw that Aaron Bradshaw was already out, that he had been subbed out like a minute and a half into the game. But it's not like he had multiple fouls. Like, why was he subbed out so quick? Do you know, Roman?
Because he didn't play well.
Within a minute and a half, he didn't play well?
It was I wasn't sure. I mean, I think Davis might have actually started from what it appears.
Okay, I thought
Yeah, like
Bradshaw started, and
they posted Bradshaw as a starter, but I think Davis may have actually started. I have to go back and check that.
okay.
I'm looking at the play-by-play. I have it in front of me. So at 18:43 in the first half, Bradshaw subbed out for Zach Davis.
Yeah.
At 18:43 in the first
Okay, yeah,
half.
yeah, no, I mean,
So
yes.
early pull.
I'll be truly transparent. I was dealing with a lot of the internet issues throughout the first half, so
Yeah.
I may not have caught exactly what happened at the very beginning of the game there.
Oh, you're good.
But
You're good.
I can imagine that it was a defensive lapse or something by Bradshaw because we saw that a numerous amount of times tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask you before we get too far down the rabbit hole. Do you have any thoughts or comments on the Ole Miss student section heckling Sincere Parker?
I mean, it's just what's going to happen in an SEC road environment like this. I don't think you can really take away too much from it besides that, to be honest there.
And that there's a lack of lack of self-awareness for Ole Miss fans about who their head coach is potentially.
Oh yeah, no, there's certainly irony in that. I think it's best if we don't elaborate on that too much, but yeah, no, there's certainly irony there.
Yeah. Yeah, he beat his fiance. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, the charges were dropped. So as a journalist, I can't definitively say that he did it, but
okay.
there's evidence there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, off that topic, I just wanted to bring that up because I'm feeling pretty salty right now about Ole Miss. I'm just not a fan of Ole Miss. So, but anyway.
Back to the actual basketball game. I know a lot of no one likes to lose, especially, but then to lose to Ole Miss doesn't make any of us happy. But it is what it is. That's what happened. So right. Roman, I'll ask you, I know you mentioned that the issues with Bradshaw. Give me your thoughts on the guard play from Memphis today.
I mean, I thought Doug played well. I thought Sincere held his own. Curtis Givens easily had his best game as a Tiger after really struggling throughout both exhibitions and the first game against San Francisco. I know it's not exactly a guard, but I mean, I thought Ashley Hardaway was just fantastic tonight on the wing. Lots of really, really tough shot making there. In many ways, I thought this was better than the Michigan game that he had a couple of years ago, because that game was him just getting really hot from three, but you saw him just make all sorts of really, really good baskets, really tough shots. So, with defenders really in his face there. He looked like a legit scorer from the wing tonight, someone that actually really can help Memphis offensively down the road. So I do think you saw some good things from Memphis from an offensive standpoint, but when you can't stop Ole Miss from three, and again, you just get absolutely nothing from the front court, it's just going to be tough to come out with a victory.
Yeah, you look at the box score. Sincere Parker played 23 minutes, had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, was 0 for 1 from the three-point line. That's not probably going to be a normal thing for him. Doug and Curtis played the most minutes on the team. They 35 and 31 respectively. Doug finished the game 15 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, or 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, and only 3 turnovers. Shot the ball decently from behind the arc, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Curtis had a great game, 18 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 0 turnovers. Shot the ball really well, 50% from the field, 3 of 7 from the three-point line. And Ashton, obviously, he's a wing player, so I guess we can put him in that backcourt scenario. But 16 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover. I thought the backcourt really showed a lot of what a lot of really good things that as they kind of tighten things up a little bit more and kind of figure out how their chemistry will be together throughout the year. The backcourt showed they can be pretty dynamic for this Tigers team, don't you think, Roman?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you got everything you could reasonably ask out of the backcourt tonight. And it certainly encourages a lot of, optimism moving forward, especially as Memphis moves into the American Conference schedule later on. Like, I just don't see Memphis losing too many games in the American with a backcourt like this, even with how bad of shape the front court is right now. You'd like to think that the front court will be in a better spot by then, because ideally Abdul Hakim should be healthy and Ingram should finally be in enough shape to be able to play. but you do need that to happen sooner because you got to get some wins in the non-conference. And I'll be honest, I don't think this Ole Miss team is great. This roster still just doesn't pop to me. I think it's going to get torn apart in the SEC by a lot of the top-tier teams. So this was one of the more realistic opportunities that I think you had in the non-conference schedule, and ultimately you couldn't get it here. So you're going to have to pull off a real upset at some point before December is over.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well just ring the bell on Aaron Bradshaw. I know it's 2 games in, y'all. Everyone in the comments, I know it's 2 games in, but you can't get this type of performance from him really at any point in time.
Chris Beard and Kezagifa are on the way, so I believe I have to depart here.
All right.
We'll
see you, man. Appreciate you,
guys.
Roman.
Appreciate you, Roman.
Yeah, let's go back to
That
the
can't
Aaron
happen.
Bradshaw. Yeah.
Yeah, I like 1 point, Kenny, 1 rebound. Look, what is that? 1 block. Like, I don't know what that is. You know, from a dude who's 7 feet tall, and it's funny. We do Tigers Live after every game. After the San Francisco game, we were pretty high on the front court. You know, we talked about it as an unforeseen strength of this team because of how potentially versatile this front court can be. But Bradshaw has to be a big factor in that, Kenny.
Yes.
You know, doesn't take a fucking excuse my language, doesn't take a rocket scientist to make that statement. It doesn't take a basketball savant to make that known. He has to be better. And they're too often watching him on the court, Kenny. I feel like he's just invisible. And that was the knock on him over his entire college career, where he just looked invisible. And you can't be 7 feet tall and be invisible, Kenny. You know that. I know that. Everyone knows that. So I don't think we can give him a pass. You know, we have to properly criticize when it's deserved. And he was absolutely terrible in this game. You know, as Roman said, there's a reason why Simon Majok started the second half over Aaron Bradshaw. Like, there's a reason why that happened. And shoot, Kenny, I wish they threw Simon the ball in the paint more. Because when he did find him, he was able to show soft touch, and he had that and one, and then he got pulled immediately. And then you didn't see Simon Majok the rest of the game. And I thought he could have at least helped when Silla's in foul trouble. Simon played with energy. You know, I know he's still very new, and Bradshaw's the guy who's supposed to have experience. But dang, Kenny, looking at this game, you could have told me it was the opposite. You could have told me that Simon Majok was a guy who's been playing college basketball. He's in his 3rd year now, instead of Bradshaw, because he looked terrible, man. Let's just call it what it is. He was really, really bad.
Yeah, when you are, I'll tell you the most egregious stat for me in this is that for Aaron Bradshaw is not. There's going to be days, there's going to be nights where your shot isn't like the front court is not going to be dominant offensively. They're not going to be focused in on. They're not going to be targeted in terms of shots. The backcourt had a big night tonight. All 3, 4, or 5 guys that played got points, got pretty good minutes in the backcourt. But as a big, if you realize, like, hey man, my shot's not either falling or I'm not getting the ball in places where I can get my shot off, you've got to start thinking about, okay, like what are some other ways that I can impact winning out here, right?
Yep.
And so if you're getting 1 shot in the entire game, which is absurd, number one, absurd, especially as a 7-footer who can stretch the floor, you should absolutely be able to get more than 1 shot attempt in a game. But there's 1 rebound, 1 block, 2 assists. And then the most egregious stat, he only had 2 fouls. Like, he didn't even play really hard. He wasn't even fouling. Like, he wasn't even playing tough defense. Like, because in college, like when you play hard defense in the paint, you're going to get fouls called on you. He only had 2 fouls. It was almost like
Tiago Silla,
right? Like
Silla, who at least played hard on defense.
An absolute lack of aggression from Aaron Bradshaw tonight. Shout out to Silla for showing some fire, even though he didn't have a great game. Shout out to Simon Majok for those 10 minutes that he gave that were, good minutes and did some things out there, right? Like, but it's just, especially if you're a starter, if you're a starting big 7-footer, you cannot have the stat line that Aaron Bradshaw had tonight and think that is an effective game for you. You know, like that is the most frustrating part about this entire game is just the absolute lack of front court presence tonight from everybody that was out there. They just did not show up.
Now, I do think there are times where Bradshaw would go set a screen and then Ole Miss would switch and Bradshaw would have a smaller guy on him. And Memphis couldn't or did not get him the ball on those switches. That did happen. But like you said, Kenny, and we've talked about this many times in the past, if you're not scoring, you have to find ways to impact winning in other ways. That's basketball. That is the game of basketball. And he just didn't do that, man. It just didn't do it. And it was an awful, awful performance from Bradshaw. And, you know, like you said, we gave props to Scylla. He at least played really hard, 2 blocks tonight, 5 boards. Here's something funny to me, Kenny. With all the crap from Aaron Bradshaw tonight, or how bad he was, Memphis still won the board battle.
Right.
They still out-rebounded Ole Miss 33-32, and that's because Doug McDaniel, the shortest guy on the court, got 7 rebounds.
He led the team with rebounds tonight.
Doug McDaniel led the team with 7 boards. He didn't just lead the team, Kenny. He tied for the lead in the entire game. Like
that's crazy.
That is unbelievable. And, you know, good for Doug. Good for him. And you know, we'll talk positives later. He at least showed he fought. Doug fought. He was putting the dirty work. He did the dirty work to help Memphis win the game. He only shot 5 for 14, but he still did the dirty work. Hence the 7 rebounds. But dude, Kenny, Doug McDaniel can't be your leading rebounder. Like that. No. That can't happen, man. Like it's truly pitiful the effort that we saw from Bradshaw. Pitiful.
And the bad part is you normally look if you see a guard look at the guard rebounding. Sincere Parker 4, Doug 7, Curtis Givens 2, Ashton Hardaway 4. I'm sorry 3, and then you had Julius Stedford with 2. You look at those and you go, okay, well those are the majority of their rebounds on the game, the defensive rebounds on the game. You would normally think that means that the team that they were playing was shooting a lot of threes and missing a lot of threes and a lot of long rebounds, right? Ole Miss was 8 for 13 on the night. There was only 5 missed 3-pointers for them to actually for long rebound opportunities.
Right.
That means Doug was in the middle of the paint, scrapping and fighting and getting after it, and he was The game film plays that out, right? Like you saw him out there fighting with everything he had. I mean, we can go down the line on the front court, though, if we want to go negative with this for a little bit. Aaron Bradshaw, pitiful. Tierno Silva was decent. You need him to once again just be big. I thought that 5th foul call on him was trash. I thought that was
awful.
Weak foul call.
Yeah.
Simon played fine. Once again, it's the 2 big name guys that you brought in that had the biggest pedigree coming in that let you down in that front court, and that's Zach Davis and Aaron Bradshaw. Like Zach Davis, he only played 14 minutes, but he had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 turnover. Only shot the ball twice and had 4 fouls. 3 of them, I think, were in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yes.
Just completely like a lack of impact in every way for your 2 guys that need to be that were expected and are needed to be impactful players for you. Zach Davis and Aaron Bradshaw did not play well tonight.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. I can't say it any better myself. I mean, everyone in the comments too, they're all agreeing with the points that we're making. Stuff about Bradshaw, stuff about Davis. You know, it's unfortunate because Memphis, and I agree with Roman that, you know, this was a good opportunity for Memphis to win and get another non-conference win in a tough non-conference schedule, to do something that they haven't done since 2005. Right. Winning Ole Miss. How crazy is that? But it's
crazy.
True.
It's true.
And this was a good opportunity. And as many issues that Memphis had tonight, Kenny, they only lost by 6. You know, there were chances at the end where they could have a bucket here or there, a stop here or there, and maybe
Yeah.
Memphis somehow escapes Oxford with a win.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and
No, I mean,
that
they
was
were
not
in the
out of
game.
question.
They were
Yeah.
in the game. They kind of lost their heads a little bit at the end. They were down by, I think they had a chance to take it to a 1-possession game, and Aaron Bradshaw missed 2 free throws.
Yes.
And then came down and immediately got the foul, or I think Zach might have fouled or something like that. So it just is they had their opportunities. We're being asked, should Simon Majock start? Absolutely not. Like, no. Let's not go overboard here. Simon Majock only played 10 minutes tonight, and he did some things. He had a pretty nice little N1. Made his free throw, which is really good for a guy. He's got some skill, but he's a freshman, right?
Yeah.
Like what if I'm Penny Hardaway, I'm sitting down with Bradshaw and Zach Davis and saying, never again can that happen. Like, this team relies way too much on you two to be impactful. And if you're not going to be impactful, we're going to lose a lot of games in conference and out of conference if you two guys don't step your games up. Simon Majock is not one of those guys yet that can be an impactful player, right? Like, he's serviceable in spurts, right?
Yes.
You give him a few minutes at a time and then pull, right? Like, you start him, he's fouling out within 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's just not.
Yeah, or it gets cooked on the perimeter. They just target him on defense like that.
Yeah.
I tweeted that Majock is definitely barbecue chicken if he tries to guard somebody on the perimeter. Like, he will get. Yeah, that was funny.
That's good. That's good. Swagged out.
That's good.
I like that. I like that.
No, like Majock, if he starts, and you saw it, even in the minutes that Majock played, Ole Miss targeted him on pick and rolls constantly. They put him in bad matchups, forced Majock to guard. I think Majock had to guard Elias. How do I pronounce this dude's last name?
Elias
Camerdine.
That's it. Oh, nice job,
Elias
dude.
Camerdine. Thank you. Yeah, so Majock was on Camerdine, and Camerdine just went like 1-2, got to his spot and rose up, and Majock basically wasn't there.
he had his hand up. It just there's just too much space, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
we're having some.
Go ahead.
We're having some flashbacks and some PTSD in the comment section about former Memphis Tiger bust Jordan Brown. Is Aaron Bradshaw another Jordan Brown bust? I really hope not. I'll tell you why I don't think so. Because I think Aaron Bradshaw. Penny talks about this a lot when new players come to his team, and that's that he has to like break bad habits from the former places that they were at, and kind of mold them into the place into that player that they need to be for him. Aaron Bradshaw, while he was absolutely ineffective tonight, was still actively engaged in the game. He got really mad at himself at the end on that when he missed those 2 free throws, because he had the ball in the paint and could have easily went up and slammed it for an and one and just tried to lay it up. Like, I saw him on the TV. You could see him just like dunk the ball, like in his face, like dunk the ball, like going nuts. That is a level of intensity and locked inness that you didn't see from Jordan Brown at all, like ever. And so if there's one redeemable quality about the game tonight, is that Aaron Bradshaw knew. I think he felt it. I think he knew, I messed up tonight. Like, I need to be better. Jordan Brown was not here for that at all. Jordan Brown left the team, did what he did, all that kind of stuff. I think absolutely Aaron Bradshaw this will be an awesome coaching moment for Penny to be able to sit down with him with some film and say, we're going to fix this now. This cannot happen again.
Yeah, I've never met Aaron Bradshaw in my life. I don't know him at all. But just watching him play, at least in certain moments, like the moment you talk about Kenny, I do think he cares. He just has to find that motor for all the time he's on the floor. It's hard, and he can't get in his head too often. like I said, there were times where the Ole Miss would switch to smaller guard on Bradshaw. Bradshaw sealed, and all it took was a good entry pass from a guard, and they just didn't make it. They
Right.
just didn't pass him the ball,
Yeah.
and it would be a forced three or a trying to drive into the lane and nothing happens. And then if you're a big and like played ball and everything, and I was always a bigger dude, if you're big and you're in the right spot and then you don't get the ball, that wears on you. That bothers you mentally. Like, come on, man, like I'm open, or I have the mismatch, I've sealed, I've done my job, like you got to give me the ball. And I know that can wear on you, but as we talked about before, Kenny, that shouldn't stop you from impacting the game in other ways.
Yeah, you can't let
Unfortunately,
that
it did
wear
tonight.
on you. You can't let
Unfortunately,
that
it
wear
did
on
tonight.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and that's exactly what happened tonight. But you cannot let that wear on you. Like you have to go get rebounds. You have to be active in other ways. Even Timo says Bradshaw had a lot of defensive lapses, tagging and not getting back to his man. Those are effort plays that cannot happen. Yep. You've got to be on a string at all times. Like it is just so imperative if you're going to be the starting big for this team, which it looks like it is, unless Tariq Ingram can get into shape. You cannot do that. You cannot be a non-factor on offense and then let go of the rope on defense. It just can't happen.
Yeah, and BC Verter here said, I don't think the guys have confidence in them. I think to a degree, that's the hard part about this day and age of college basketball. You don't have that bond with a lot of guys that you can take several years to get to really know somebody like the back of your hand and know what and fully build that trust. Like these guys have to build this trust in each other within such a short period of time. And maybe they don't right now, but all we can say is that has to change soon. And Aaron's got to earn the trust from the players, but also the players have to trust him as well. Like trust is a two-way street. Sure, it has to be earned, but also it has to be given when it's deserved. And I think there are times where, like I said, Bradshaw, there were times where he was open and they just didn't give him the ball. He did the right thing. He did what he was supposed to, and they just didn't give him the ball. And, there were even times today I saw in the first half, there was a couple times where Curtis started the game off really well. Curtis Givens started the game off well, hit a couple shots, and then he went cold after that. I vividly remember one moment where Curtis missed the three. Memphis got the offensive rebound. The ball got kicked out to Doug. Doug drove, and Curtis was wide open in the corner. And Doug just totally looked off Curtis. And Curtis did the whole, like, come on, man. Like, I'm open. Like, you got to trust me. And I think that'll come, man. Like, that trust level, that'll come. This is hard. Playing high-level D1 college basketball is hard. But also getting to know your teammates and building that bond and that chemistry, that's really hard too. Yeah. And so I think that'll get better with time. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where a guy like Doug McDaniel, a guy like Sincere Parker, guys that have experience in this college game need to have legit just like, hey, rally the team around, how can we've got to get these guys the ball in better positions and they've got to finish, right? Like they've got to be able to finish when they get the ball in better positions. It's on everybody to make it right.
It is.
It is a very surprising to me. If you had told me at the beginning of the game that the front court was going to have the game that they had tonight and that the Tigers were only going to lose by 6 on the road against Ole Miss, I would have laughed you out of the studio because this just doesn't make sense. But the Tigers showed me a lot tonight in terms of like what this is still such a work in progress and the chemistry and everything kind of coming back together. It's all such a work in progress, but they have some things that are non-negotiables that are a part of this team. And that's that they fight. They scrap the entire time. They push the pace the entire time. And they surprisingly are not very loose with the ball. And that is a big time thing those are 3 non-negotiables, I think, for this team that are really going to be good as they're continuing this developmental process together. So,
Yeah, I agree.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, like I said, there are many ways we can look at this game. We touched on a lot of the negatives, but I think there are positives to take away. I definitely down to talk about them. We also want to do our player of the game. Kenny, you want to take a break and then do player of the game and get into that after?
Yeah, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll do all the positives of the game, the player of the game, and then we'll get out of here. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back in a second.
Those two dudes aren't without blame, bro.
Oh, God.
They're not.
Yes.
Like, I understand that Tomas Islo's a coach. I understand that he's got his way he wants to go about doing things. But there should be times, bro, where those two dudes should be able to get together and say, hey, man, look, I hear that. I hear what dude is saying. That shit, let's go hoop, bro. Let's go do what we know works, bro.
Can I give you an example?
Yeah.
I am not coming out of the game with 8 minutes left in the first quarter, Jaron Jackson.
No, fuck you.
That. I'm not doing that.
Fuck you.
I'm not doing it.
Find me. I'm not going to sit down. We're going to go fucking win these games. That's on those two dudes, though, man. That part bothers me a lot, that they're not being those dudes.
Yeah.
It bothers me that they're just kind of cooling and vibing with everything. Even though they're looking depressed, they're looking sad, and they're moping about it, and poor Jaron. Man, fuck all that, bro. Y'all two are the leaders of the team, man.
Tune in to the Anthony Sain Show Monday through Fridays at 1 p.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
I used to be a guy that said it was more important who finished the game than who started the game. And I still more or less believe that, but there is one massive caveat that I have to ask. It's more important who finishes the game than who starts the game, as long as the people who start the game doesn't put you in a freaking crater. If you cannot survive your starting lineup, then something has to change. In the first quarters, in 9 games that the Grizzlies have played, they are losing first quarters by 44 points. They are losing the starter minutes. If you're not considering tweaking the starting lineup, then what are you considering tweaking? Are you just saying like, oh, they'll figure it out? This is going to work? Based on what?
Tune into the 2 Buck Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Yo, welcome back, everybody, to Tigers Live. So yeah, let's get positive. Let's talk about some of the good things. Player of the game, Kenny, give it to me.
Player of the game. This is going to look weird. I got to switch it. I didn't have time before. It will be Quante Berry for a second, but it's not actually Quante Berry. It is our good friend Ashton Hardaway is the player of the game. 16 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Only shot 4 3-pointers, made 1 of them, but was just impactful in a lot of ways for this Tigers team tonight. So Ashton Hardaway is the player of the game. I thought he had a really good game tonight.
Yeah, what I loved about Ashton's game is he showed the flashes of the scoring ability he showed in high school, where in high school, Ashton looked like he could just get his shot off at will. He was such a good, tough shot maker. He could hit from basically anywhere on the floor. And today, that's what we saw from Ashton. He was hitting tough shots like it was easy. You know, he clearly he's always had a good shot on him, but it showed off tonight. Like he was hitting tough shots when Memphis needed buckets. And there were a couple of times where Ashton attacked hard closeouts and got to the rim too. He had that and one in the game. And, you know, I think there's a comment Timo said that he looks a lot quicker. I agree. Not
Yes.
only does Ashton look quicker, he looks slimmer. Like he looks like he's in better shape. Just straight up, straight down. He looks like he's in better shape.
Well,
And
he's
it's
3
shown.
years. He's 3 years into a Division I
Right.
eating plan, meal plan, and workout regimen. When we saw him with the Tigers his freshman year, he was coming in as a guy who had a really nice outside shot, but that was basically what he was limited to because of his and that's really all he needed to like really develop while he was in high school, because he was so much taller and could just shoot over everybody.
Right.
And you saw it when he would play against guys that were physical defenders in his freshman year. He'd get bumped off anytime he tried to guard somebody, he would get bumped off the path. Anytime he tried to dribble, if someone put their hand on his hip, he was flying. Like it was definitely there was a level of just the physicality of the game he hadn't caught up to yet. And I think he's caught up now. Like you saw it with him in tonight's game. Just an ability to kind of create force out there, create, with his actions, like move people, move defenses, move the actions. And that just comes from just growing in the game and being in the game longer, and the game not being so physical and so fast. And that shot's still there. So he still has the shot, but now he has a bigger bag now than what he had as a freshman. So shout out to Ashton, man. Just a really nice game for him tonight.
Yeah, no, big, much love to Ashton. That was needed for Memphis to even say this game. You know what else was needed, man? What we got from Curtis Givens III. I know we gave him a lot of crap on the last episode of Tigers Live. If you're in the Blow City Media Discord, if you're not, that should change. Definitely join the Discord. But if you are, then you saw us definitely giving him some crap, because he didn't look good for most of the first half. But in the second half, Curtis Givens kept Memphis in this game. Let's be very real about that. 18 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 7 for 14 from the floor. Dude, you shoot 50%. That's a great game. That's a hell of a game. 3 for 7 from 3.
Absolutely.
And this was an amazing game from Curtis Givens, quite frankly, and he helped keep Memphis in this game. It's definitely good to see, because we know how we looked against San Francisco. We know how we looked prior to come to Memphis at LSU. We know that there are still limitations to his game, but it seems like he may have taken the poor performance against San Francisco to heart, and he really played well tonight. He got to his spots. He hit some big-time shots. He played really hard on both ends of the floor. Right. So, yeah, you got to give him a lot of love and a lot of credit for his performance today.
Yeah, he had a really good bounce-back game from the San Francisco game. Obviously, he's got some size to him and some speed, so, he's able to get to the basket, but it was just and I think we kind of mentioned this in the last post or the Tigers Live, is just a lack of conviction when he got to where he wanted to shoot, right? Like there was a kind of a lack of conviction, and there was quick moves to the basket and then hesitancy and kind of softly laying it up, just trying to get it up to the rim. It felt different in the second half tonight for him, where there was a level of like intentionality to what he was trying to do. And when you make a couple of shots, see the ball go through the net, then the basket becomes bigger and that 3-point shot starts to hit. And so, and just really proud of the bounce back effort that he had tonight. Curtis Givens played a really nice game, and I think really showed, probably what Penny Hardaway has been seeing this entire offseason, and why put so much trust into Curtis Givens III. If he can continue to do that, that really does, I think, change some things for what the Tigers do offensively, because I think his ultimate landing space for the Tigers is probably off the bench. I would say being a kind of a spark for Julius Thetford and Quante Berry off the bench, those 3 guys being 3 main backcourt rotational guys off the bench, because I do think you'll probably see Hassan Abdul Hakim, when he's healthy, enter into that starting lineup at the 3. And I think if you can add a Curtis Givens III offensive punch to what Julius Thetford can do defensively and what Quante Berry can do defensively, plus with the outside shooting, that's a big time. That's really nice backcourt for, off the bench. That really does provide a punch.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just continuing the theme, talking about backcourt, Doug with 7 assists, 15 points, 6. We already talked about 7 rebounds. Yes, he didn't shoot the ball that great, only 5 for 14. He was 2 of 4 from 3, though. And, hey, 2 games. I know, just 2 games, but 7 assists tonight, 9 assists against San Francisco. Yes. Doug is showing early on that he can be a real floor general for this Memphis Tigers offense that Penny loves. Obviously, Penny's a point guard, and he can read. He read the floor better than the vast majority of people who's ever touched the basketball. And Doug, you can see him process the game on the offensive side pretty well. It's just he had the one turnover where he drove and Thetford was on the corner. Thetford then tried to cut to the basket, and Doug expected Thetford to stay in the corner because he was wide open because the help man helped low and there was nobody guarding the corner. And I think those are the type of turnovers, and he had 3 tonight. Doug had 3 turnovers tonight. Those are the type of turnovers that I think will get fixed over time.
Yes.
As again, these guys get to know each other, get to know their tendencies better. Thetford is not a knockdown shooter. It makes sense for Thetford to want to make that cut because he's going to try and get downhill and use his athleticism and to either finish at the rim or get fouled. Yeah. And if Penny wants Thetford to just stay in the corner, I don't think that's his game. Like, it makes more sense for Thetford to want to make that cut. And the more that him and Doug get on that same page, the more lethal that can become in terms of just how Doug can spread the floor. But he's already done a really nice job on the offensive side as a distributor for sure. I think the shooting will get better. I think the efficiency will improve. I do think the best of Doug McDaniel is for sure yet to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the knock on Doug McDaniel throughout his career at Michigan and at Kansas State was that he would kind of get into that mode of like, I've got to take over games, right? And I think you saw a flash of that in the second half when he forced some shots that probably weren't the best shots, like probably shots that he has made in practice a lot, but when you're in crunch time in a really high leverage situation, him being the size that he is, shooting a floater off the backboard, falling away from the rim, it looked good, but it's probably not a high efficiency type of shot. And so what the work that Penny is going to have to do is impress upon Doug how important it is that he becomes a point guard and not a scorer for this team, right? Like, you've got really good scoring that you can trust. You've got Sincere Parker, who is, I think, the best ball scorer on this team. He only got 8 shots tonight, Francis. Like that. Yeah, that's some of that is on Sincere. Some of that is on Doug and the point guards as well. Like, you've got to get Sincere more shots.
Yeah.
Sincere walking away. I mean, 4 of 8 from the field. He played 23 minutes. He scored double digits again for the second straight game, but 4 of 8 from the field. You need to ramp that up. He needs to have double that shot attempts, right?
Yeah. I do think Ole Miss did a solid job on him tonight. I'm sure it was a game plan of theirs to take Sincere out of the offensive side of the ball. So, I think Ole Miss did a solid job against Sincere, but like you said, the stats that he put up tonight were basically, they seemed effortless. 12 points on 4 for 8 shooting, and it didn't really look like he was pressing too much. But you kind of need Sincere to press a little bit more.
Yes.
You don't need Doug McDaniel to press.
Yes.
But you kind of need Sincere Parker to press and look for shots more often. Doug can be the facilitator of the backcourt. And I think that, as you said, Kenny, that's going to be his strength moving on for the rest of the year. Sincere has to be the bucket getter of the backcourt. Yep. No question. He has to be. And if he's not, then that's a problem. That's a problem. Sincere's got to be the bucket getter because he is by far the most talented scorer on this Memphis Tigers team. No question.
I mean, he just has an ability and a silkiness and smoothness to his game that is clearly somebody who's got a lot of talent, and you just need him to be more aggressive. And that may be what the knock on, like, let's not forget, he's coming from McNeese State, where he played 20 minutes a game, was off the bench, but averaged a ton of points, was a super efficient scorer. If you're Penny Hardaway, you're taking these last two games, these game films, and showing all the positives to Sincere Parker and saying, you have got to shift your mindset. You are now the man here, right? Like, you're now the guy that we need to rely on to score points. He's scoring points, but just he can do more, right? Like, so this is not a critique on Sincere. This is hey, bro, great job. Let's get more of that, right? Like, we need more of that.
Well, they threw up a graphic during the game, and Dan Bradshaw and the other announcer, I'm forgetting his name, but they're talking about how Memphis is going to have to score in different ways because the last 3 years they've had some insanely good scores.
Right.
And right now, Kenny, Sincere is the closest player to becoming that type of scorer. Yeah. But as you said, it's just not at the moment. It's not how he's wired. That's not how he was wired at McNeese State, and that's not how he's wired right now. But I fully agree with you, man. That's got to change soon because somebody has to be the closer for this team on offense. And that, I think we all agree, has to be Sincere Parker. Well, he has to be the closer on the offensive side.
And I think if Sincere takes that step, I think if Aaron Bradshaw takes that step, then that opens the door up for Doug McDaniel to have more efficient scoring and not have to go high volume 14 shots to get 15 points, right? Yes. Like, it allows him to kind of become that role that the Tigers need him to be. It's the perfect example of it is Tyrese Hunter from last year. When Tyrese Hunter came to Memphis, he was a high volume scorer for Texas and for Iowa State. When he was at Texas and Iowa State, he was a high volume shooter. Shot the ball a lot. But when he came to Memphis, in the age that he was, the maturity level that he was able to take that step back and say, there are games where I'm going to have to completely take over. You saw that in the Bahamas last year. You saw that when he just absolutely torched those rims that move like this, right? Like, just absolutely was the man. But then it became very clear PJ Haggerty is the high volume scorer on this team. And so Tyrese was took a step back from his game that he had in Texas and at Iowa State and said, I'm going to be a facilitator and a stretch wing, a stretch guard, and I'm going to make sure my guys get the ball where they need it. Dane Danger where he needs it. PJ Haggerty where he needs it. That's the level of Doug. We need Doug to be that guy. And that happens if Sincere and Aaron Bradshaw take that leap and become the scores that we need him to be.
Yeah, 100% agree. And, again, to stay more positive on the game as a whole, Ole Miss from three, Kenny, they shot 61.5%. What in the hell? That is unreal shooting from Ole Miss. Memphis only lost by 6, and Ole Miss still shot the lights out, and Memphis did not get the break speed off of them. Kenny, I'm sure you remember that 6-0 run to end the first half from Ole Miss. Those back-to-back threes to end the half. That's the game.
That's the game. That's the game.
And Memphis was in this game against an Ole Miss team that essentially was unconscious from 3, and they only lose by 6 points. There definitely are positives to take from this game from a Memphis perspective. We talked about it before, Kenny. We said it at the end of Tigers Live or during Tigers Live after the San Francisco game. This team won't quit. And I don't think you'll ever see this Memphis Tigers team truly quit on a game. And there were moments, Kenny, in this game tonight where Memphis could have just lied down and said, all right, offensively, we don't have it. Things aren't falling. We're down by 11. We score. And then they score again. We're back to down by 11 again. And it's just seesawing. We cannot really make the run to make this game competitive. But that's not what happened, man. they were right there at the end, and that should show every Tiger fan, all of y'all out there, that this team will fight until the end of the basketball game.
Yeah.
And that's really all we can ask for. Shots are going to fall, turnovers are going to happen, rebounds are going to get missed, like things happen in a game. But all we can ask for truly is that they play hard. And I thought majority of this team, we talked about Bradshaw already, but the majority of this team, especially the guards, they fought like hell to stay in this game and somehow escape from Oxford with a W. Did it happen? No. But you still got to be proud of the effort. And I agree with you with USA Health Insurance Reform. Was always rock with Tigers Live, so appreciate you. I'm still proud of this Memphis team. They definitely got some skills to have a solid year, which wasn't clear from the exhibitions. Yeah, man.
It's true. It's true.
This is a good Memphis Tigers team. How high is their ceiling? I don't know. Me and Kenny, I've texted you about this too, man. It's like, I think there is definitely heart, passion, and drive on this Memphis Tigers roster. How high is the ceiling with talent? I'm not sure. Time will tell if they all hit their ceilings, if Bradshaw finds that extra gear and he can play hard for a full 40 minutes, if Doug can be more efficient from the floor, if Sincere can become the elite mentality scorer that Memphis needs him to be. If all these things happen, sure, then Memphis's ceiling is really high. But if they all don't, I still think Memphis's floor is still pretty damn solid. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
That's not really that hasn't been a commonality with Tigers teams over the past. It's like high ceiling, but the floor is like, oh my God, they're gonna
super shaky and it could crumble. Right.
They're gonna lose to Rice and then they're gonna lose to UTSA and everyone's gonna freak out because their floor is like really low. But dude, I don't think. I mean, I guess I'm already 0 for 1 with jinxes, but like I highly doubt that'll happen from this team because I think they all play really hard. And I think as a Tigers fan, you still should be proud of the effort that you saw from them tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be about just taking the level of intensity and focusing it on the right thing. And that's
good point.
Making right plays, not fouling. Like, I'll tell you, one of my favorite players on this team is Julius Tedford, but he had one of the dumbest fouls I've ever seen him. Just dumb, right?
Dumb.
Like, and there's and I love the intensity, but you just have to focus it, right? And Penny Hardaway's been known to be able to do that kind of stuff. I'm still bullish on this team. I think this team is going to. I think it's going to be one that Memphis Tigers fans love by the end of the season. I said that last episode, and I'll say it again. I do want to, before we get out of here, there's one last topic I wanted to discuss, and it has to do with Ole Miss and one of their players. I just shout out to Ilias Camerdine from Ole Miss, number 6, 11 of 14 from the field. God bless, 78.6%. 3 of 4 for the 3-point line, 26 points on the night. Clearly he was a big difference and part of that big 6-0 run at the end of the first half and just was a fantastic weapon for Ole Miss tonight. But it's not hard to be a weapon when you're a 6-year pro and you get to come to college. Like,
and you're 22 years old, man.
And you're 20
freshman.
Or is he 24?
Freshman. Oh,
right?
I just looked it up. His birthday, born October 1st, 2003. So
I guess that would make him 22.
I guess he's 22. Yeah, 22.
USA Health Reform asked, is that French dude from Ole Miss a legit draft pick? This is what's crazy. He's out of draft eligibility because he's too old, but he's a college basketball player.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot understand what the NCAA is doing right now. Like, allowing G League guys that have been paid to play basketball for multiple years to then have to regain college eligibility and play. And yet the University of Memphis is losing eligibility battles for guys like Dane Danger, who got injured 2 or 3 games into his season and had to sit out. and was requesting another year of eligibility, and then losing on a DeAndre Williams eligibility case because he got lied to by people that were in positions of power over him. He got lied to.
Straight up deceived, man. It's
And then
such
the
BS.
NCAA held him out as a precaution for an entire year, came back and said, oh, by the way, you actually weren't ineligible. You should have been able to play. But guess what? That counts as a year of eligibility for you. And so he fought that battle, lost that battle, even though it was not 1,000% not his fault. I just can't understand, like, how in the world the NCAA makes the decisions they do when it comes to eligibility. Guys like Dane Danger can't get another year. DeAndre Williams can't get another year. But a 6-year pro from overseas ball gets eligibility to come and play Division I college basketball in America. I just don't understand it. I don't care what anybody tells me and tells me all the reasons and why and all this. It makes zero sense to me. It is unbelievable. And it makes a lot of sense that this kid was 11 for 14 from the field and 3 of 4 from the three-point line for 26 points because he's a damn pro basketball player playing college basketball. Like, it just makes no sense to me. I think the NCAA sucks, and I think that all they have left to wield power is to be able to tell players no and say, no, you can't stay and play this game that you want to play. No, we're not going to give you another year of eligibility, even though you have a case. No, we're not going to do that for some reason. And I just don't understand the NCAA. It's just unbelievable. So
I got no counter argument to you at all. Like, I have not. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. The NCAA sucks. One of my favorite drunk rants to have at a bar with like friends is just how much I hate the NCAA. I'm not drunk right now, so I'm not going to go on that rant. But it is one of my favorite things to just rant about is how much I hate the NCAA. It's awful. We all know that. It's the decisions that they've made for decades is absolutely dumbfounding. The things that they let slide, the things that they deem important to actually, quote unquote, bring the hammer down on. It's just ridiculous. There's no clear cohesion, consistency within any decision making by the NCAA over the past 50 years. There's nothing.
It's arbitrary. It's arbitrary, and as the lawyer for James Wiseman back in 2019 said, it's arbitrary, and the word that I love more than anything, capricious, which means, and you're a lawyer. What does the word capricious mean, Francis?
I'm going to sound dumb. I have a guess, but you tell me the definition.
It means with intent, like with negative intent. Like, we're not here to protect. This is not coming from a place of moral high ground. This is coming from a place of, we don't know why we're going to make the decision we're going to make because we don't have any bylaws to back it up. Arbitrary. Nope. We're just arbitrarily making decisions, but we're going to punish you at the same time.
Yep. That's the NCAA. And they've been doing that for forever, frankly. And it's annoying. Again, like I was saying before, it's annoying what they choose to punish, what they choose to uphold compared to the things that they let slide and decide to ignore. Like, it's absurd. It's ridiculous. But, shout out Ilyas Kamardine. He had a great game. So
I'm happy the kid's here. I'm happy he's playing. I hope he has a great year for Ole Miss. I'm not saying ban him. I'm saying let him come and let Dane come back and let all these guys get their eligibility back. Like, forget it. Like, what are we talking about? I'm not about denying other guys their opportunity to play basketball. I'm about letting guys who have a legit case and not arbitrarily making a decision. Yeah, Dane can't come back, right? Like, it just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I agree. 100% agree. And I think everyone in here would agree too.
Yep. I'm done.
No, love it, man. It's late, Kenny. It's 11:12 over there in Memphis. So everybody who's rocked for Tigers Live for this episode, man, thank you all for staying up with us.
Yes.
Thank you all, everybody, all of y'all in the comments, all 553 y'all watching this show late at night in Memphis, Tennessee. Thanks to all of y'all for tuning in to Tigers Live. Memphis, unfortunately, they couldn't pull it out, but it is what it is. Memphis moves on. We move on. They have another match up on the 16th against UNLV. It's Josh Pastner's return to Memphis. 2 p.m. game on the 16th.
On Sunday.
Pastner's going to get applauded, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. I don't think that was going to be a question. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
I want to answer this question for USA Health Insurance Reform. What about net rankings? I don't care. No, I'm joking. I don't care. I don't like the net rankings in quad 1, 2, 3, 4 talk. It just takes over. It just becomes a talking point for guys who don't know basketball, and that me and Francis know basketball. And so we're going to talk basketball and not net rankings and quad 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. It is relevant, so we will talk about it a little bit, I guess, but
it's not, they're not out yet. So
they're not out yet. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do. I think they've been asking this question throughout the entire show. Like, how does it impact it? I don't know at this point. We'll see.
It's probably going to be a quad 1 loss, probably, but
yeah,
whatever. We'll talk net when they get released.
Yeah,
they have not been released, so let's
begrudgingly we will talk about it, right?
Yeah. Let's cool it on the advanced metrics, y'all. It's literally 2 games into the season. We don't need to talk about Ken Palm, Torvik, net. We're good.
Hey, I will say this: if Ilias
Yes,
Camerdine had played for the French national team when they played against the USA in the Olympics last Olympic season, they probably would have beat LeBron and Steph and KD and Anthony Edwards and all those guys. Ilias Camerdine should have been on that Olympic roster.
He led France to a first-place finish in the FIBA Under-20 Eurobasket in 2023 and was crowned MVP of that tournament. So, I mean, he's a legitimate hooper.
Yeah.
He's legit. No, good.
He's a pro.
Yeah, he's basically a pro basketball player. But yeah, whatever. That aside, we move on. Memphis moves on.
Playing in Oxford, Mississippi. What in the hell is going on here?
You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying. But yeah, we move on. Memphis moves on. They got UNLV on the 16th, 2 p.m. Josh Pastner's return to Memphis. Well, after this one, Memphis has to win that game. That's got to be when UNLV is not that good. No. And so Memphis has to win that game and keep moving forward. And then after that, Memphis it's the tournament in the Bahamas, right?
Yeah, Bahamar. Yep. They're playing Purdue. They'll play Purdue first round. That's going to be a fun one.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. Holiday basketball, Thanksgiving basketball is let's beat UNLV. Let's be healthy and let's see what we can do against Purdue, man. But yeah, to everybody tuning in, thank you all for tuning in to Tigers Live, staying up with us late in Memphis, Tennessee. To Kenny Stubblefield, thank you, man, for always being on the show. Roman Clear, who was on earlier, all love to Roman. Everyone in the comments, thanks y'all so much for tuning in to Tigers Live. We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you for watching this episode of Tigers Live. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.